Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into a topic that's reshaping how businesses handle customer service right here in Den Hog and across Europe. We're talking about AI voice agents and multimodal customer service automation. And honestly, it's way more sophisticated than the old chatbots most of us remember.
Thanks, Alex. And what's really striking about this shift is the timing. We're not just seeing incremental improvements to existing chat systems. Enterprises are fundamentally rethinking how they interact with customers. It's voice, text, visuals, all working together in real time.
Right. So let's ground this. When we say multimodal, what exactly does that mean in practice? I think a lot of people still picture calling customer service and getting transferred around.
That's the old paradigm. Multimodal means a single AI agent can handle voice calls, but simultaneously accept text inputs, process images for visual diagnostics, and pull up contextual data, all without breaking the conversation. Imagine calling with a billing question, and mid-call, the agent asks you to share a screenshot. It recognizes the visual issue, pulls your payment history, and solves it in one interaction.
That sounds like efficiency on steroids. But I'm curious, what's driving this adoption? Is it just cost savings, or are there other factors?
It's definitely a mix. Gartner's latest research shows 64% of enterprises globally are now piloting or deploying voice-enabled AI agents. But in Europe, particularly in regulated markets like the Netherlands, there's an additional driver: compliance. Organizations want AI that works, but they also need it to operate within EU AI Act boundaries. That's non-negotiable.
So EU compliance isn't slowing down adoption, it's actually shaping it. That's an important nuance. Let's talk numbers, though, because if you're a Den Hog business considering this, you want to know the ROI. What do the studies show?
The Deloitte 2025 data is compelling. Enterprises deploying voice-first AI customer service saw 35 to 40% reductions in average handle time for routine inquiries. First contact resolution rates improved by 27%. And here's the big one. Overall support costs dropped by 42% within a year. For a mid-sized operation handling thousands of monthly interactions, that's millions in savings.
42% cost reduction in a year is substantial. But I'm imagining some pushback from teams worried about job displacement or quality issues. How do companies typically navigate that?
Good question. The reality is these systems are augmenting, not replacing, human agents, at least initially. The AI handles routine inquiries, gathers context, and escalates complex or emotional issues to humans. So your team moves from answering basic questions to managing high-value interactions. You actually need fewer people, but they're doing more strategic work.
That reframing is important. So let's get into the technical side a bit. How does an AI voice agent actually understand what a customer is saying? Because accent, dialect, emotion, there's a lot happening there.
It's a multi-layered process. First, speech-to-text conversion happens using advanced acoustic models that can handle Dutch accents, regional dialects, background noise. Then, transformer-based language models perform semantic analysis, understanding not just words, but intent and context. The agent maintains conversation memory, so it knows what you mentioned 5 turns ago. And critically, it reads emotion and urgency, flagging frustrated customers for immediate human handoff.
So it's not just transcribing, it's actually comprehending. And unlike old IVR systems that force you through menu trees, this feels conversational?
Exactly. Old IVR was rigid. Press 1 for billing, press 2 for technical support. Modern agentic AI just listens. You call and naturally describe your problem. The agent gets it immediately, accesses your CRM history, checks inventory systems, and starts solving. If it needs more information, it asks conversationally. If it can't help, it escalates with full context. The human agent picks up knowing everything that's already happened.
That context preservation is huge because how many times have you called customer service and had to repeat yourself? Let's talk about the elephant in the room for European organizations: compliance. What does it actually mean to build an AI system that satisfies the EU AI Act?
It's about risk management and transparency. Customer service agents are high-risk systems under EU classification because they directly impact consumer rights. Organizations need to demonstrate several things. The system's decision-making process is explainable, there are human oversight mechanisms, data handling is compliant with GDPR, and there's continuous monitoring for bias or performance drift. EtherLink's lead architecture framework essentially bakes compliance into the system design rather than bolting it on afterward.
So compliance is a design principle, not a checklist item at the end. That changes the cost-benefit calculus, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, it requires upfront investment in governance structures and monitoring systems, but organizations that skip this end up in regulatory trouble or deploy systems that fail in production because they weren't designed for real-world fairness. The companies moving fastest are actually the ones that embrace compliance early. They build sustainable systems that scale confidently.
For a Den Hog organization listening to this right now, what's the practical starting point? Can you just bolt this onto existing infrastructure, or is it a bigger project?
It depends on your maturity level. If you have clean CRM data, API access to back-end systems, and clear call workflows, integration is relatively straightforward. We're talking weeks to a couple months. But if your data infrastructure is fragmented or undocumented, you need discovery work first. The key is that voice agents are only as smart as the systems they can access and the data they can leverage.
Data quality is foundational. I imagine training the model on your specific use cases matters too?
Critical. General-purpose LLMs are powerful, but they don't know your product catalog, your billing logic, or your customer segments. You need fine-tuning on domain-specific data, anonymized interaction histories, product knowledge bases, common issue patterns. That's where organizations see the most dramatic improvements in accuracy and first-contact resolution.
So it's not a black box. It's a customized system that learns your business. What about security? I imagine customer service interactions involve sensitive information, payment details, personal data.
Security is non-negotiable. All customer conversations must be encrypted in transit and at rest. The system should never log payment card details. It should tokenize them. Access controls ensure only authorized staff see sensitive transcripts. And in Europe, you're managing GDPR data retention rules, so systems need built-in data lifecycle management. Reputable vendors make this transparent in their architecture.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how, but I want to zoom out. What's the broader trend here? Is this just better customer service, or is something bigger happening?
It's part of a larger shift toward agentic automation, AI systems that don't just answer questions, but autonomously execute workflows. We're seeing this across operations, order processing, billing adjustments, issue resolution, all happening without human touchpoints until escalation. Customer service is the most visible use case, but it's really about reimagining how enterprises operate at scale.
And that's the competitive advantage, right? Organizations that move quickly here are fundamentally changing their cost structure and customer experience simultaneously.
Exactly. By 2026, voice-first customer service won't be a differentiator. It'll be table stakes. Organizations deploying now are building institutional knowledge about how to manage AI systems responsibly. They're ahead of the curve on compliance, and they understand their customer data and workflows at a deeper level. That's sustainable advantage.
Sam, final question. If you're a leader in Den Hog weighing this decision, what's the key thing they should focus on first?
Start with your highest volume, lowest complexity call types. These generate the fastest ROI and let you prove value internally before tackling harder problems. And invest in governance from day one. Compliance isn't friction if you design for it. Finally, pick partners who understand your market and regulatory context. European AI requires European expertise.
Great practical advice. So, listeners, if you want to dive deeper into multimodal AI voice agents, compliance frameworks, and how to actually implement this in your organization, head over to etherlink.ai and find the full blog post. It's packed with more detail on architecture, case studies, and strategic roadmaps. Thanks for joining us on EtherLink AI Insights. We'll catch you next time.